So welcome to Joshua's Journal, and this is my 7th month process. I almost hold up 6 fingers there. 7-month progress on Atlas Earth, and so this isn't going to be like an introduction to Atlas Earth, like not a basics guide or anything. This is just going to be like my progress in Atlas Earth. What are you going to expect putting in 7 months into the game, and blah blah blah. And so I'll go through stuff. This isn't like a complete, like guide to Atlas Earth or anything like. I'll explain the basics of it. So basically, Atlas Earth is a game and foremost. It's a game that is supposed to make you a little bit of side money, basically. But mainly play it for entertainment. It's not really an investment. But anyway, here's the website. It's an app, so you can only play it on your phone. I'm on the desktop. But anyway, so shop, earn, blah, blah, blah. It's just kind of a money-making app. It's actually one of the better ones, especially if you're a free player. So we'll get to it. But here it is. So this is the game. And basically, the way it works, this is Nashville, Tennessee, and so basically the way it works are these, it's tied to like the real world, and there's like different parcels that earn you rent per second or whatever. It's a very, very, very small, like, portion of money, and basically it adds up over a long period of time, but it's really not that much money. And so the parcels, 4 different types of parcels, and so that's what the colors signify. And so basically, if you own the most parcels in a given town, you get like a little bit of kickback of money that people spend buying a badge in the town, which is a whole different layer to the game. But the core basics of the game is you watch ads or you buy Atlas Bucks. So you watch an ad, get Atlas Bucks, or you buy Atlas Bucks outright. And you spend those Atlas Bucks buying parcels that are tied to the real world and a real town or a real place wherever your physical location is. And then if you have the most there, you get something. But that parcel generates you income every second without you even logging into the app. Now, to actually make any money out of this at all, you have to log in and do what's called boosting, which means you watch an ad for an hour. You watch an ad, and for an hour, your parcels get boosted. And so right now, if you're in the range that I'm at, which is I'm like at 123 parcels, that means that I'm getting a 30x rent boost. And so without that 30x rent boost, without getting onto the app, if you have if you have 150 parcels, you make $5 in a whole year. Awful. Now, if you do boosting, if you're constantly getting on the app every hour, or not every hour, you can go up to 6 hours. But if you, make sure you're boosted, you keep watching your ads, you can make around $180 to $200 a year. And so I'll give you like the numbers of like, here's what I have. So I have 123 parcels. Again, that's broken down to legendary, epic, common, and rare. I did those common, rare, epic, legendary, my bad. But anyway, and LPUs, we won't talk about that in this video. But anyway, so the basics, right? So basically, total in 7 months after playing the game. Now, this isn't like hardcore playing. This is kind of casual playing. I try to stay boosted most of the time, and I try to watch my ads every 20 minutes to get the 2 Atlas Bucks. But I'm not like religiously doing this. But definitely it's a constant like grind of mine. And so I would say on average maybe an hour a day is what I've spent on it. On average, maybe, if that much. But anyway, so by the numbers, $45 in around 7 months, and I've invested $45, and I'll explain why I did that. And effectively, if you hadn't invested that $45, you still probably could have made around $40 to $45 probably, even if you hadn't invested that, and I'll explain why I invested it in a minute. So anyway, so I made $45 from the game in 7 months, and so this will actually increase over the long term. So it isn't like a steady thing of like you make this money and it's steady like throughout the course of it. The more you play, the more you earn. Now there's kind of a cap kind of to this. So the way it works is there's different tiers. So you have the boost multiplier here, and this chart basically tells you here's how much money you can make given the amount of parcels, assuming you boost every day. So again, looking at this monthly base rent, if you're not boosting, let's say you have 150 parcels and you don't log in the app at all, you're making 65 cents a month. Again, horrible return. But if you're boosting every day and everything, you're making around $20 a month. And so that's actually pretty good. That's a little bit of side change, and that adds up to like $180 a year, or $200, $240 a year. Yeah. And so right now, like according to my numbers, I'm making about 50 cents a day-ish, about 51 cents a day, and that translates to $15.71 a month, or $188 per year. And so that's actually not bad. For me, it's fun. It's a fun game, and It's something that you probably would be already on your phone. The ads are pretty short, like a minute. I just do something else while I watch the ad. And, you know, it's a fun game. And I'm not doing it to make the $15 or the $20. And I'm not, like, thinking, you know, oh, this is an investment opportunity or whatever. It's just a fun game to do. And if I get a little bit of money out of it, it's a win-win. And so, anyway, like, the whole concept of, like, buying the parcels and being the most and a town and becoming a mayorship of that is kind of cool in my opinion. So that's why I would play the game. I would not recommend this as a strategy of making money. However, you can make a little bit of money, and I do mean a little bit. You know, if you wanted to really make money, you could go work an hour a day doing something on like Fiverr or something and probably make a ton more money than this. But is it going to be as fun? Maybe not. Maybe it would be. I don't know. It depends on what you want to do. But anyway, so back to my numbers here. So at 150 parcels, this is where things kind of take a turn for the worst. If it was a 30x boost, like for every parcel going forward, there would be a really substantial, making a ton of money with this game. The problem is they know this, and you know, basically all you're doing in return for them giving you money is watching ads, which really don't make them a ton of money. I mean, yeah, probably 3-4 cents maybe an ad, maybe, and they're in kickback, they're giving you a cent to 2 cents per ad back, right? So if they kept the 30x boost, they would run out of money really quick, and they know that. So here's all the tiers and the boosting. So every 70 to 100 parcels, it goes down 30 to 20 to 15, 12, 10, 8, 7, 6, and so forth, all the way down to just 2x. And so basically, you have to get to 17, 21 parcels in order to start the scale up process. And what I mean by that, you know, like, yes, you will get your like incrementals like going up here because of the super rent boost days, which are things that like an outside sponsor, or that they'll just fork up a 50x, and that happens twice a month. And so that's kind of like a negligible. That's not including the other boosting that happens. So it's an event thing, and I worry because they call it an event, but that it might go away at some point. But anyway, so basically you kind of get nerfed. As you go up more and more, you do get nerfed. Now you still make increase in money, but the difference between having 150 parcels making you 30x is around $20, right? If you go up and you spend and you triple that all the way up to, you know, 450-ish, you know, we'll put that in there, you're only gaining around $5 a month, and that took you 3 times the work, you know what I'm saying? So it doesn't get easier getting more parcels. Oh, it kind of does, but you know, it doesn't really get that much easier getting more parcels. So it's gonna be a lot harder. The grind from 150 to 1 parcel to 150 to make $20 is worth the effort. To go from 150 to 450, maybe it isn't the worth it for you. Maybe just playing the game casually, maxing out at the 30x boost, maybe getting some legendary parcel upgrades, and trying to boost out that. Maybe that's the strategy for you. For me personally, I like the aspect of becoming mayors of the game, and so that's where this map comes into play here. So again, here's Nashville, Tennessee, a reasonably large town, and so we can see Count Maximus, he's the mayor of Nashville. And so what this gets him, you know, he spent quite a bit of money on this game, probably over 100 grand easily on the game. So, you know, probably money isn't an issue for him, but he has 2,650 parcels in Nashville. And so with that, there's things called badges, which is, if you get enough of them, you increase your rent from 5% to 10%, 15%, all the way up to 25%, and you have to get these badges that you buy in towns, and that's any incorporated town or a county or a state, or the country as a whole. And so if you become the top owner of parcels in your either county, in your town, or state, you get a cut of that. And so with this, you know, Count Maximus, he's the governor of Virginia, he's the governor of North Carolina, he's governor of Tennessee, he has Nashville, I think he has Memphis, he has a lot of big things. And so basically, every time somebody goes into one of these cities and buys a badge for 200 Atlas bucks, he gets 20 of that. And so he's probably getting thousands of Atlas bucks a day, just by owning the most land. But of course, it took him, you know, a long time to get up to that point, and a ton of money. And so anyway, so that's where it kind of comes into play. So I'm the mayorship of 2 towns. I will not name those 2 towns for obvious reasons. I will tell you my strategy though. And so basically, I have one town that is on the interstate somewhere, and then I have another town that is kind of off the interstate quite a ways. And so the town that's on the interstate, I've been paid out 5 times through badges, and my strategy, I want to buy a another town that's like actually dead on the interstate. And so anyway, I'll let you know how that goes. And right now I'm at that 123 parcels, right? So once I get to 150, then I have to save up until I can tier jump all the way to 220. Well, a 211, but you know, I'll have to tier jump from that 150 all the way up. And so anyway, because if I don't, I'll lose money, because again, it goes from 30 to 20. So my strategy, I was buying in those 2 towns, and I built up a pretty nice lead in both of them. Now there has been people, there was kind of a battle that I had with another guy, actually 2 guys that were in the one town, and they were relentless. We were going back and forth. I was beating them out. Basically, like every week I was getting around 5 to 6 parcels down, and they were getting maybe 1 or 2, but they had a really nice lead on me. So over the course of a couple months, I catched up to him and overtook it, and he overtook it again, and then I overtook it, and there's been some like kind of battles like that, and so that's like fun to me to do that. And so there's multiple ways you can spend money on the game. So I'll go over back to here. So you can join the Atlas Explorers Club, and what that is it's a daily login. You get more per daily login, and I'll do a whole separate video on the different ways to do this, but this is a very quick overview. And I'll also do a separate video like explaining like the basics of Atlas Earth, and do a whole lot more like tutorials and stuff going into this. But anyway, and if you want some references, that's because I'm going to make those videos, but I haven't made those yet. So if you're curious, like right now, go check out Beer Money Engine. I'll leave his link in the description. Great guy about just explaining everything Atlas Earth and also other money making apps. And so basically that's what kind of inspired me to make this channel. But I want to focus more on the mayorship side of things, and also like my personal strategy, because it might differ from other people's strategies. So anyway, bonus spends on Diamond Hunt Wheel, a different event thing that we'll talk about at some point, and then you can boost your rent instead of up to 6 hours, like in a normal, you can go to 8. And for all this, it's like $50 a month. It's way overpriced, not really worth it unless you are making like $100 a month from the game, which again, you're gonna be in the thousands of parcel counts at that point. I don't know, it's really not really worth it. The season pass, as you can see, it says manage subscription. I actually do, I'm part of this. And so basically what this is, and I'll show like a little screen up here, but basically there's the season, there's the challenge ladder, which basically you do different things in the game, like play mini games. We'll talk about those in another video, and do different things in the game. They'll reward you with a little bit of Atlas bucks. And so the one side of it is completely free. Just if you do those things in game, you get the points and you get the rewards. There's a premium side to it, basically, where you pay $10 a month, a lot more reasonable. You pay $10 a month, and that's if you pre-subscribe, and if you get those same points or whatever, you get a whole nother side of the ladder, which adds up to around, I think, 1,000 Atlas bucks and a really nice legendary parcel upgrade, which we'll talk about those in another video, and then apparently future features which haven't been out yet. And so I'm actually probably going to stop my subscription to this, probably next month. I'll probably pay for it one more time and then stop it, because it's just like not really going to be worth it to me after that. The other way is to just buy straight Atlas bucks, $5, 110. I would strongly not recommend you do this at all. The return on investment is around 3 years. Again, if you want the math, go to Beer Money Engine Network, Beer Money Engine on YouTube. Great thing. He has a whole explanation of like, and does all the math behind this. It's a horrible idea. And you know, I'm a fan of Atlas Earth. I'm not saying it's a scam or whatever, but you know, if you do decide to spend $40 on it and you only get 10 parcels, you can do this in a couple weeks, like 2 weeks, and get that just by watching the ads and stuff. Strongly not recommend doing this at all. The other way you can get Atlas bucks is actually by like basically doing a cashback system is what they do, and so you can spend $1 at these places and you get an Atlas buck back. They're supposed to be expanding this program quite a lot, the AMP program, and I really hope they do this to stuff like gas, or groceries, or something that, you know, you spend on a weekly or monthly basis. You know, that would be really nice if they had that in the game, because, you know, I'm spending like $40 a week in gas. I mean, I'm constantly going somewhere, traveling somewhere. I live like 20 minutes away from, you know, a grocery store. You know, like I'm driving a lot of places, so the gas thing would be huge for me. But hopefully that they do that. You can also do surveys. Surveys are very hard. They usually don't get you that much. You know, you can book travel as well. In my experience, I've looked at this before. Traveling just, it's not really worth it. I'm usually not going to these places anyway. But there's ways of getting it without spending money, or that is already money that you'd be spending, like Moe's. I go there pretty frequently, and I get around 20 to 30 Atlas bucks, depending on what I purchase. 20 to 30 Atlas bucks every time I go there, and I'm already spending the money, so you know that's great. So I've subscribed to the season pass, I think twice, and then I spent $25 on a piece of Atlas Earth merch. So I bought this, the mug with color inside. I bought this, and they were having a 3x amp boost, or maybe it was a 5x like amp boost thing, where I, instead of getting 6 Atlas bucks per dollar, I got like a ton more. I think I got like over 500 Atlas bucks from this purchase. Anyway, it was like $5 shipping. So you know, 25 bucks, and I drink out of it, maybe not every day, but a lot, and so it just felt like a kind of a good deal to me, get those Atlas bucks, and I was happy with that. And so if you were going to spend money, I would maybe spend it on the merch, if you like a shirt or whatever, or a mug or whatever, or the season pass. But mainly just play the game, have fun with it, make a couple extra bucks. Anyway, so that's my 7-month progress. Going forward, again, I'm going to do some tutorials, some explainers, which are the same thing, and maybe talking about like my strategy, and yeah, so give you some advice on stuff. Also, this channel is going to be kind of rebranding to a financial channel. I know on this channel has been kind of all over the place, with between music, Supremacy 1914, gameplay, vlogs. It's mainly going to kind of turn to a financial channel. I'm not just going to talk about Atlas Earth. There's a ton of some other apps that I'd like to talk about at some point, and also just some different like financial things that I would like to talk about. You know, either stock investing, something like that. So let me know what you would like to see. You know I'm really not the most financially gifted person there is, you know, at all, but I think I could maybe give some input into some things. And so anyway, so we're starting out with Atlas Earth. Again, you know, even though this is a financial channel, I would not say this is a financial app at all. It's an entertainment app. Play it for entertainment. Don't play it to make money. The money is just a nice side bonus. And I mean, I guess you can play it for money, but just expect that the most you're ever going to make from it probably is going to be around 20 bucks a month. And don't put any money into it. And if you do, you know, have a really good strategy, really think it out, because, you know, I've just, after 7 months, I've spent the $45, and I've just now basically, like yesterday, are now break even at it, you know, so it's very long time. If you do spend any money, you know, it's going to be a long time to get it back, and so just know that. And so anyway, but that's the game here. That's my 7-month progress, and probably after this I'll either do, probably every couple of weeks I'll do an update on my progress on Atlas Earth. But anyway, so that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Goodbye now. Goodbye.